Recording. Hello, party people. So today, for Monday Media Review, I have something of a forgotten classic, I think. This came out the year that I was born, and I'd never seen it. I'd heard tell of it. I'd heard tell of the comic and the novels and things that it was based on, but I'd never actually seen it myself. And now that I have, I've got to share it with you guys, because this thing was so much fun and managed to give me nostalgia for a time I didn't live in. I know. So, this is, of course, Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze. And, yeah, we're going to have a scan through this really quickly. Trying to do this a little quick and hoping I can manage it, because I want to finish the recording before my friend Yiz starts her Discordant Dragons. I've got about an hour, so I might even manage to get it posted in that time. I wouldn't bet on it, but it will definitely be posted after Discordant Dragons, or by the time Discordant Dragons ends. In any case, let's pop along here. So, this is based on a novel by Kenneth Robeson. For those of you who don't know, Kenneth Robeson is actually a... and I do apologize, I'm actually putting my sheaf of notes together again. But Kenneth Robeson turns out to be the pen name, the pseudonym, the nom de plume of a certain, I believe his name was Lester Dent. And that's down here in this one. Yes. Lester Dent is credited as the primary creator and main writer of the Doc Savage character and series, while publisher Henry W. Ralston and editor John L. Nanovich, conceived the character and the magazine concept. It was Dent who brought Doc Savage to life through his writing and established the series' distinctive style. Dent wrote the vast majority of the 181 Doc Savage novels, with 159 of them credited to the house name Kenneth Robeson. And he also edited the work of other writers who contributed under that byline. I think it's fair to say he is the creator of the character when he's the one with final say over what the character does in a book. The character, Clark Savage Jr., first appeared in the March 1933 issue of Doc Savage magazine, and Dent's imaginative storytelling and detailed plots were central to the series' success. I would 100% agree with that. Now, let me just remove that. This is the first shot well, not the first shot, but this is the opening. And it's subtitled Arctic Circle 1936. So we have a setting for it. I think there are a few anachronisms, and that's not counting the gadgets. That's counting some of the costuming choices, things of that nature. But you do have to remember this is being heavily influenced by the 1970s fashion choices as well. And it was a time where historical accuracy in a film really only mattered if you were going back a lot further. So, there's no soundtrack. For this scene, there is nothing but the sound of wind. Even the the snowmobile. Excuse me, sorry. Even the snowmobile doesn't make any noise. Well, not in this shot. But, yeah, this is stark, bleak, and interestingly enough, he's got some branding tendencies. I can relate. To be fair, I can definitely relate, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, because if I remember right about there should be a watermark of mine. Speaking of which, since I'm pointing at it, if you do enjoy the stuff I do, please do support me by doing the things in the ticker, and you'll get your name in the ticker, same as Simon JJ and the Morangatang. Also, I should point out, the Morangatang is technically me, but if someone wishes to support me anonymously, and I have had one person do that, I have decided that, actually, it's not actually there in this ticker. I do apologize. I will immediately fix that now that I'm talking about it. There we are. Oh, that's weird. I must have accidentally. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, there we go. Okay. So, anyway, the orangutan is technically me, but my alter ego, I suppose. It's the other account I use when I don't really care to, if I'm watching YouTube or whatever, if I don't care to have it connected to the Ardent Party brand. It's the best way to put it. So, as I have had someone support me anonymously, and I understand, I have some opinions. They have been kind enough to suggest that I use something to label them anonymously. So, if I get 7,000 anonymous ones, that ticker will never change. But if you want your name in the ticker, by all means, you know how to get a hold and support me. Let's see. So, yeah, branding. One of the things you'll find is clever logo placement quite a lot. This one is on the snowmobile hood. There's another one in a little while. Yeah. Technically, Doc Savage is the precursor superhero. And by that I mean he is generally considered the predecessor of Superman. In fact, in some of the books, he is called the Superman. There's quite a few points in this movie where I've noticed things that could be considered influences on future projects. And I point them out a lot. Because I just like the fact that it happens. Speaking of, Fortress of Solitude, huh? Where have I heard that before? Yeah. Like I said, he has many influences on later heroes. I'm just checking my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. So for this one, he's been shot at. Now, this wall, I don't think it's necessarily intended to be drywall, but he's digging a bullet out of it with his fingers. Kind of this motion. And he's using so much strength that it splits the seams of his clothes without visibly straining the fabric. I did say, this shows his strength by having his clothing split. It's an excellently subtle effect. And part of the problem is, and this will be not exactly a criticism, but more just a historical observation when it comes to filmmaking. Filmmaking was not as sophisticated when this was made. It's simply the truth. Whatever trick method they used to cause the shirt to split, or maybe it was simply split in between takes, or cause the fabric to split rather. It's fairly obvious that he's not actually straining the fabric as it's wrinkled, but yeah. But it is still, as I said, a very subtle and excellent way to show the strength of the character. Speaking of subtle and interesting, images 5 and 6. Oh, wait, no. They showed his strength. In between that screenshot and this one, there's a reference to a vehicle called the Whizzer. If you're a comic book fan like me, you recognize that reference because it's a speedster. Yeah. Let's see. There is one really poor piece of tell don't show that I kind of understand, but it's kind of irritating. The fact that the reason that the bullet missed him in the apartment was because he has some sort of refractive glass in his windows that causes everything to look 5 inches to the left. Yeah. Let's see. Excuse me. And I did say this could be made up for as foreshadowed cleverness if they don't repeat it. And they didn't. But they didn't really, kind of show how clever or prepared he is in other ways too well. Well, no, to be fair, there are moments later that he is very much prepared, which is definitely a Batman influence. This is one of my favorite moments in the movie. There's a simple bullet dodge here. Someone is pointing a gun at him, pulls the trigger, and he does this. Yeah. Seriously, he goes from this to this. Obviously, the bullet went right by him. I loved it. I absolutely loved that moment. because it's so simple, and it didn't have to be flashy, and it didn't require any sort of special effect. It just required a sound effect. And all he did was literally, let me get lined up with the camera. All he did was literally go and basically rolled his shoulder. It was beautiful. He just spun on his heel, basically, and just, yeah, no. Like, bitch, you missed. I love this moment. I really, really do. Simple bullet dodge, just move no more than necessary. And that's another thing, too. Economy of movement is one of the things that does kind of factor into this character. So I like that. And that's another point of influence that I didn't put in my notes because it didn't occur to me until I'm talking about it now. The Destroyer series. Economy of movement is important in that series. And several other superhero series. Batman makes significant points about it as well. And of course, if you don't need to dodge... Yeah, after he ran out of bullets, the assassin just decided to throw what's supposed to be 700 nitro at him. I watch Kentucky Ballistics. I know what a 700 nitro looks like. I don't think that's a 700 nitro. But, you know, gotta love a man who carries a golden gun. And that's not the only James Bond influence either. Yeah, and that is a Ruger Mark 122, by the way. So, yeah. And you will hear me crumpling my pages as I'm done through them. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a 22. The funny thing is, the only time he fires it, it goes pew. It makes a silenced sound. The stereotypical Hollywood silenced pew. It's a 22. It basically should go... But anyway... I mean, this just this pose as they're driving through the rain. Also, I do love the fact that the rain is insanely inconsistent in the shots. Yeah, I simply said they do not make them like this anymore. This is such a great moment, and you can clearly see the. Yeah, you can see my cursor this time. You can clearly see the golden gun this time. There it is. Let's see. Oh. Next question. Why don't movies use lightning strikes for emphasis anymore? Lightning strikes and thunder for emphasis. Yeah. He basically makes a statement, my father was murdered, and there's a lightning strike. It's fucking awesome. I have to say, like I said, this gives me nostalgia for a time I didn't live through. So yeah, I actually really, really like this. Oh yeah. Forget no capes. This guy has no costume. His clothes get torn up all the time. It's amazing. It's awesome. I love it. Also, they must have bought about 100 of these shirts for this show because, yeah, there's a bunch of these shirts that get torn right to pieces. Oh, yeah. I wonder if all the obtrusive SHIELD branding in the MCU and MTVU wasn't a reference to this film. For example, as I mentioned, obtrusive branding. This is on a plane. Yeah, yeah. The soundtrack is based completely on the music of John Philip Sousa, so it's very much Americentric, and at points it's a little jarring until you realize that this guy is the American hero. Excuse me. But yeah, I did have to... oh yeah, there's a trivia note back here that I wanted to look at. Something to do with the soundtrack. I won't show spoilers. Soundtrack. It's down here somewhere. I do apologize. Here we go. The film's theme song, based on John Philip Sousa's The Thunderer, was intended to evoke a patriotic theme. And it does. Made me patriotic for somewhere I've never lived, and nostalgic for a time I didn't live through. I really did enjoy this movie. It's not perfect. I didn't even give it the highest recommendations I normally give. But it's a damn good movie. It was an attempt to emulate the success that director George Roy Hill and composer Marvin Hamlish, which, if you ever watched The Nanny, is a name you recognize, achieved when they used ragtime music for The Sting, which was a couple of years earlier. Let me see here. Where are we? Right, we're back here now. So yeah, the slightly obtrusive branding. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I have a suspicion that Joss Whedon may have been somewhat of a fan of this movie, because everything that's related to him has Doc Savage branded on it. I did point out, and this is a bit of a reference to The Shadow, but these guys are also called the Fabulous Five, which might have been, believe it or not, I think, lifted from the Fantastic Four, because the Fantastic Four predates this. Not the character, but this film. So, maybe. But these guys are called the Fabulous Five. We have, I believe this fellow's an anthropologist. I'm not 100% sure. We have an engineer, a chemist, an electrician, and a lawyer. Because who doesn't need a good lawyer? Yeah. And I do have to play you a clip here now in just a moment. Yeah. So right before they take off to go to where his father was murdered, he gives a bit of a speech, and it's worth playing for you guys. I just lifted it completely from YouTube, so whoever B-Movie Enema is, thank you. Actually, just to be nice, I'll throw you a sub. And maybe I'll even stay sub to you. Who knows? In any case.
Before we go, let us remember our code. Let us strive every moment of our lives to make ourselves better and better to the best of our ability, so that all may profit by it. Let us think of the right and lend our assistance to all who may need it, with no regard for anything but justice. Let us take what comes with a smile, without loss of courage. Let us be considerate of our country, our fellow citizens, and our associates in everything we say and do. Let us do right to all, and wrong no man.
I do love that they applied that, almost as if they'd never heard it before. But yeah, I mean, I noted down, cheesy, yes, but it's heartfelt, it's forthright, and, you know, those are core traits of a proper hero. And that's one thing about this movie. This movie is an absolute, truly heroic character. And it's good. I'm telling you, it's good, it's worth watching. Now we come to some of the cheesier parts of it, though. Nothing wrong with giving your cheesy henchmen cheesy dialogue. It's fun. This guy definitely had some cheesy dialogue. I don't think he shows up again, either. I'm not 100% certain, but I could be wrong. So, yeah. Yeah. And a completely over-the-top villain isn't a bad idea, either. And oh, dear God, is this guy over the top. But, I mean, that's part of the point. I mean, you're trying to get to have fun in the movie. You don't need to be preached to. Yeah, that code was a little preachy. That's fine, because you're taking kids to this, and kids should hear things like that. Messages like that are important. And, you know, it's also important to remember that the real-world villains don't do this shit. I did have to note, and this is one of the big fail moments. Okay, so maybe not a completely great film, given that this guy nods his way through an entire phone conversation. They do pan out, and you do see him actually speak into the phone. But up until they do that, which is a good 3 seconds of conversation goes by with him just going, "What? Who the fuck are you nodding at, dude?" Again, might be an artifact of a less sophisticated time in filmmaking. Oh, and I did have a what the fuck moment. Actually, I had two what the fuck moments, but this was the first one. What the fuck? Yeah, it's the same guy. Apparently, he sleeps in a giant crib. I have nothing else to say. Mystical snake effects are mystical. Yes, yes, they are. I think this guy might be evil. Turns out I was wrong. That's just the coroner. And if you recognize this fellow, I will give you his name. It is Michael John Berryman. This was his first role, and he was 27 years old. Maybe 26 when this was filmed. Yeah, I shit you not. He was half my age, basically. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, you see this guy, you tend to think he's evil, because he's played a lot of evil characters. Some of the other stuff he's been in is just insane, too. I immediately recognized him, of course, because he is extremely distinctive looking. Let's see here. Yeah, this was his first role, or at least the first role that's listed on IMDb. He also played in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, the Hills Have Eyes series, the Star Trek series, several different things. I remember him most from Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. He was one of the warriors for Cybok. And I mean, he's been in loads of stuff, and he's still working. Or at least he's listed as still being an active actor. So, yeah. Thank you, sir. Because that's 50 years of service. And he'll probably never get an honor that he deserves. Let's see. Oh, speaking of the mystical snakes being mystical, it turns out you can blow them to pieces if your gun's big enough. Definitely an American movie. Yeah. No, he's able to blow them to pieces with a fucking elephant gun. I love it. Right? And it looks like it was hit with a shotgun blast, but it wasn't. It's a rifle round. Like, what the fuck, dude? Where am I here? Oh, and they're scared of old fans. Yeah. He turned on a fan and blew them out the window. Excuse me. Which, okay, seems absolutely retarded at this point of the film. Later on in the film, they do something that shows you that this is not quite as retarded as you might initially think. Not quite. Let's see. Oh, and this exchange shows that there are other filmmakers who've been influenced by this. This character is called Captain Seize. This is the villain. I'm not giving anything away, believe me. But at one point, one of the other characters makes a joke about how, oh, that's why they call you Captain Seize, because you take things. And he literally does the ha 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 ha. Or actually, how did he put it? He goes, yes, ha 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 ha. No. And I'm sorry, but that ha ha ha, no. That sudden drop to deadpan, I don't know if it existed before this film, but this is the earliest I've ever seen that on film. Or in, visual media. Oh, yeah. This is an entire page of just the different things that this has influenced. So we've got a bit of James Bond. We already had a bit of James Bond, of course, with the Golden Gun. But Gadget Lighter. That fires lasers. Or, I guess, death rays. In this case, it's the 30s, so we'll call them death rays. And some Spock. Though you see this guy use a lot of different pressure points, so not so much Spock as maybe a bit of Jet Li in Kiss of the Dragon. A little bit of, pressure point attack kind of thing. And believe me, the Asian stuff gets very retarded towards the end. And we've got some Superman. He gets shot a lot with a Thompson. Now, he didn't stand still to get shot with a 700 Nitro, but he did for a Thompson. Now, I understand a Thompson, I believe, fires 45. And obviously, a 700 Nitro is much larger. That said, I assumed he'd have some sort of gadget or something under the... No, he's just fucking bulletproof. Okay. Speaking of anachronisms, that's a taco. Or a plate of tacos, it appears to be. Though I don't think it's necessarily as anachronistic as I initially thought it was. So, yeah. Let's see. Oh, and another what the fuck moment. Yeah, he's not just sleeping in a crib, he's sucking his fucking thumb. And there's never any mention of what the fuck is going on with this guy, ever. So I'm thinking it might be something from the novel. But, yeah. It's a good way to portray a really weak henchman, though, as some sort of weird, developmentally delayed freakazoid. What? You don't travel with a full chemistry lab? I told you there was Batman influences in this. And there's some J.J. Abrams. Obviously, J.J. Abrams got influenced by some of this. Yeah, that's a lens flare over a matte painting with the two of them saying goodbye in the sunset. Yeah. Worth it, though. Let's see. Where else are we? Oh, there's some Lord of the Rings style cinematography. One of the things I noticed was the far shots of these guys. They remain very grainy. Sorry again. They remain very grainy, as if the remastering process didn't really bother with that. It's a bit jarring, to be honest, but once you accept that it's going to happen, you kind of like, okay, sure. But for the first few times I saw this, I was like, geez, that looks awfully Harryhausen. Like, remember the original Clash of the Titans? It kind of reminded me of that. Which is fair, because that's the original Clash of the Titans, I think, is about 8 or 10 years before this. So, yeah. Let's see, what else have we got? And, of course, they get captured. And it's all the girl's fault. Because she just couldn't let it go. And the villain has a 1911. Because, of course, he does. It's an American movie. Don't ask me why, the hero wanders around carrying a 22 and the bad guy has a 45. Oh, yeah, and I did say the Asian stuff was going to get absolutely retarded. Oh, it does. Watch this. Not only does the villain have a 45, he knows fucking sumo. No, I'm not kidding. He literally goes into the sumo preparatory stance kind of ritual leg thing. Yeah. And, then they do Kung Fu. There's another one where it literally labels it on the bottom as Tai Chi Chuan. There's another that it labels it fisticuffs. The only thing I wrote for the notes under these was LOL. Because it's just so hilarious. One of the things that I did mark the film down for was, okay, you don't need to tell people what style they're using. Especially when they switch to karate. Speaking of things that this probably influenced, a little bit of Game of Thrones and Goldfinger. Yeah, this is Finger Sucker, or Thumb Sucker, which is all I'm going to call him from now on if I ever refer to this movie again. Thumb Sucker. Didn't work out well. Let's see. Oh yeah, the hero will, even with infinite money, dedicate himself to justice. Good. That's exactly what a good man would do. Because, of course, that's what a hero does. And he kind of gets the girl. She asks if he's going to ever come back, and he says, well, yeah, probably. All my money is here. He doesn't actually say that, but he does say he'll come back. One of the things I did love was that there's actually rehab centers. This is a special acupuncture surgery that takes away the bad thoughts and criminal urges and such like. Yeah. And, of course, he's Christian, which I don't have an issue with that. I actually really like the fact that they ended the movie in a Christmas segment. And, of course, it ends with a literal call to action. He gets a phone call, and with a gadget answering machine, gets informed that someone else is in danger, and he must go and help. So, of course, have no fear, Doc Savage is here. Yeah. Do I recommend this movie? Oh, fuck yes. I'll read a couple of quick post things that I have here as well. But yeah, I absolutely do recommend this movie. I think anyone who has ever enjoyed any superhero movie, any science fiction movie ever, should absolutely check out this film. Even fucking Reddit digs this guy. Reddit hates everything. Right? Let's give respect to Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze, a character that was a great inspiration for Superman, and it shows. Without him, our Man of Steel would probably not exist. And of course, they have replicated the code. Let us strive every moment of our lives to make ourselves better and better to the best of our ability, so that all may profit by it. Let us think of the right and lend our assistance to all who may need it, with no regard for anything but justice. Let us take what comes with a smile, without loss of courage. Let us be considerate of our country, our fellow citizens, and our associates in anything we say and do. Let us do right to all, and wrong no man. Fucking dig that. That's the kind of sentiment that a hero should put forward. I absolutely love this. And the last note that I have here, because I can close the trivia window. Doc Savage, Man of Bronze. The novel The Man of Bronze is the first story in the Doc Savage pulp series, originally published in 1933 by Street and Smith. Written by Lester Dent. We talked about that. And he introduced the character Clark Doc Savage Jr., a super-intelligent, physically perfect adventurer described as a, quote, bronze giant with a physique akin to a statue of bronze. There are also moments in this movie where he displays what appears to be some form of psychic ability. It's got a funky sound effect, so you'll notice it. The plot centers on Doc returning to New York from his Arctic hideout. I don't want to read all of this to you, because if I do, it's going to give you spoilers. The narrative involves a journey to a hidden Valley of the Vanished, where they confront the Red Death, a deadly malady that killed Doc's father. Now, that's not actually what happens in the movie, so it's not really a spoiler. But I will, in fact, bring back my video cover and close that browser. So, yeah. If you enjoyed this, and I will do it again, call to action, please. I'd appreciate it. And when it comes to support, comments, likes, especially on YouTube, likes and comments are important now. Subscribe by all means if you enjoy this. But if you want to support me, I appreciate chat. Chat is one of the best things you can do. Comment and chat. Because, excuse me. Oh, I forgot I had things written on the back of my hand again. But yeah, definitely comment, chat, let me know what you think. If you have an issue with how I responded to your hero, or, if you think it's absolute garbage and I shouldn't bother to cover it, let me know. I might disagree with you, especially in the case of this movie. I think this movie is fucking awesome. I loved this. It's fun. That's the important thing about it. It's fun. And there's so little of that now. We need more of it. So yeah. Recommendation? Abso-friggin-lutely. And it's fairly cheap on YouTube. So I think I paid $5 to rent it. With tax, it was like $5.75. Worth it. Believe me, worth it to watch it once in your life. As far as a ranking, this one, it's hard. Without giving it allowances for the sophistication, like viewing it purely through a modern lens, it's a 6. It's a hard 6. Maybe a 6.5 out of 10. But if you make those allowances for technology, for the sophistication of the filmmaking art, for the lack of care for the source material, which I have to say I'm actually kind of impressed with how close they got to the source material. I've had a look at some of it. Pretty good. Better than a lot of what Disney is doing. A lot better than what Disney is doing. I also had to say I'm very glad that Dwayne Johnson's Doc Savage movie fell through. I would not have appreciated seeing him in this role. Just would not have worked the same way. Let's see. Yeah, so recommendation is an absolute. Ranking, making the allowances, I pushed it up to an 8. 7.5, 8, kind of in that range. It's not perfect by any means. There are moments where you go, what in the absolute fuck is going on? And there's that final fight scene with the labels. Oh, man. But they went through, see, they had Kung Fu, Tai Chi Chuan, fisticuffs, and karate. sumo was there, but they didn't label that. Possibly because whoever was doing the labeling didn't know that they were supposed to. Or possibly because they didn't want to put the word sumo under the villain's bum. I don't know. But, yeah, it's different. There's even... And I don't think they really realized that they should have labeled this too. There's even a pro wrestling drop kick at one point. So yeah, it's definitely... I mean, the fight scenes, they're nowhere near as sophisticated as today's, but making allowance for it, it's still pretty damn good. Other than that, I think that's it. So come on back tomorrow. I will be doing Terra Nova Tuesday, probably as a live stream, as I have some traveling to do during the day. I'll probably tackle another mystery figure, folklore, what have you. Other than that, but other than that, yeah. Come back tomorrow. If you want to chat with me, yarn with me, you can find me on Twitter. I'm also on Gab and GETTR. What else? Gab, GETTR, Twitter. I have Telegram, but I use it basically to just look at memes. But yeah, if you want to find me, Twitter is the best way to do it if you want to communicate. Other than that, yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. And as always, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Good night. Hello, pretty people. So, you've probably just finished watching one of my videos, and I appreciate your time. That said, if you're watching on YouTube, because they've changed the way they evaluate their views, I need to ask a favor. You need to commit some form of engagement in order for me to have it count as a view, because for some reason YouTube no longer thinks watching something counts as a view. They need some form of engagement to prove you actually watched it. So like, comment, follow, share, subscribe. Any of those things would be appreciated. Other than that, if you want to support me, and this would help me with endeavors across all the platforms I do my content creation on, you can look at Ko-Fi, which is right there in the ticker right at the moment, or you can go over to my Redbubble and pick up some merchandise there. The designs that have been flashing on screen for a while are examples of the designs that I have. You can pick these up on a variety of different products, and yeah, I'll probably end up leaving them up. Though, from time to time, I will put up something that will be time limited. Some of the designs, the Walrus King especially, for example, I intend to leave up all the time because I just love that, and my Ardent Plays logo is for my other Rumble channel. Other than that, I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. And as always, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.